everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to be participating in the 2020 Planner Advent videos this year. So what that is 5 of us have come together or been brought together by Simone to create videos. So between the 5 of us, we will put out one video every day from December 1st until the 25th. Simone was kind enough to reach out and ask me if I would like to participate, and of course I was super excited to say yes. She was wonderful and handled all of the logistics and the details, so thank you so much, Simone, for inviting me and organizing this. So the 5 channels and creators participating are obviously myself, Simone, Amanda at Ink Imperfections, John at Planning with John, and Dakshana. These are all channels that I love, so I'm really excited to see everybody else's videos. We will each be filming 5 videos based around the same topics, and of course we all have our own styles and planner needs and interests, so there should be a great variety and hopefully a ton of good ideas to choose from. I will link everybody's channels and Instagram pages in the description, so I do hope that you check them out if you're not already following them. So this first video is a general introduction video, as well as a video where I'll share some of my favorites. And I've actually never done a video where I've shared my favorites before. I love watching other people's, but for some reason, I think I just like so many different things. I've been hesitant to try and hone in on it, but since I was challenged to do so in this video, I made the effort and have come up with, still a pretty comprehensive list, and one that I don't think will surprise any of you who have been watching my channel for some time, but it is nice to have it all gathered, and I'll do my best to provide the links below. I think I might just doodle a little bit while I chat with you guys, otherwise you'll just be listening to me and having nothing on the screen. That being said, I'm not really sure about how well I can talk and write at the same time, so let's give it a try. I've just pulled out some mild liner brush pens, which I enjoy but haven't used that much, so I will be able to have some practice here. So the first question is, how did I get into planning? And I guess I don't really remember not being in planning. If you watched my planner origin video, I showed the agendas that I've been using since high school, and I've pretty much been planning since then in very similar ways. I do remember specifically finding the online planner community though, and that was towards the end of 2018. I had Googled, I think, best planner because I was starting to get really into reviews and wanted to see what options were out there. And that led me to a couple of lists and a couple of YouTube videos. The first time I heard of Hobonichi was in one of Sam Kelly's videos, and honestly, I was hooked. I spent probably a few weeks deciding on which size Hobonichi I wanted to try, and I went for the A6 English Original for my very first one. And yeah, I realized at that time too that there was a whole online community dedicated to all things stationery, and I've been here ever since. That's the long answer, and the short one is they gave us those agendas in high school, and I realized how functional and fun they could be, and I think I'm just doing a, slightly more grown-up version of it now, as I sit here with my markers and stickers to show you. Okay, now we're getting into my current favorites. So I will start with my favorite notebook. Surprise, I am a bullet journaler and I love the Tomoe River paper. So as I've mentioned many times before, I buy the A6 Hobonichi plain notebooks and get them cut down to pocket size at my local Staples. I just love the Tomoe River paper. I love the smaller grid size, and I love that this lays flat. I'm really enjoying the Sequins notebook that I'm in right now for the thickness and the feel and the paper and grid, but it doesn't lay flat, and that is something that can be irritating at times. So my all-time favorite is definitely the Hobonichi plain notebook cut down to my size for a bullet journal. Moving on to pens. If I had to choose one pen only, and please nobody make me do that, I would have to choose the Uni Jetstream in the 0.5. So the first time I ever tried that was in the pen that came with the Hobonichi. So this is the 2019 version. And since then, I've gotten a number of these slim bodies from Tokyo Pen Shop that still have the 3 colors. I love this pen. It works on every paper I've tried and works well. So this is my #1 go-to pen. Lately, I've also really been enjoying this Uni-ball Signo 0.38. It's a gel pen with archival ink, and it's just really satisfying to write with. It lays down a darker line than the Jetstream, and there's just something different about the experience of writing with a gel pen. So this I've been using for the last few months and really, really love this one too. My favorite fine liners are these Le Pen technical drawing pens. I'm not sure why I like these ones more than the Micron, for example, or the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens, and I love both of those as well, and same with the Tombow Mono pens. Like, those are all great fine liners, but these are always my first choice. So I have the 0.3, which I don't use very often, and the 0.1, 0.05, and 0.03, which I use all the time in my setups. If I want to use colors when I'm journaling, these are my go-tos. These are the Zebra Sarasa in the vintage colors and the 0.5. I love the colors. I think that they're not too bright. I do prefer things a little more saturated, jewel-toned, deep. So these are just beautiful. And finally, my Tombow. It's starting to rub off here because I've used it so consistently. This is the N89, and it's a warm gray, and this to me is my perfect gray to create spreads because it's dark enough for me to see, but light enough that it fades into the background. It's not the first thing that draws my eye, all of the lines that I've drawn. I can still see the writing at the forefront, but I love this. And this came as part of a Tombow Neutrals set, which if I can link a picture here, I will, but I love all of the colors in that neutral set. So that was a really great purchase of mine this past year. A couple of accessory favorites are these Cutter Bee scissors. They're just great. They're sharp. They're small enough to do kind of a really good job with fussy cutting. And this corner rounder, I got this on Amazon. There's the name. And it has the 3 different sizes for the corners. So small, slightly bigger, medium, and quite round, large. This is great. I didn't realize how much I would love to use this, but I find that it makes things that I glue in feel more finished. I really like using it to round the edges of pictures or tickets or anything, so I've gotten a surprising amount of use out of this one. I almost forgot my stencil. This is the Hobonichi stencil. I love this thing. I ordered a second one for this year. It's perfect for my pocket size, and the flexibility of it makes it really great when your pages start fluffing up and you start getting that hump. The other favorites that I have are washi tapes and stickers. Those are the types of things I like to use when I'm journaling and in my bullet journal, although I'm pretty minimal with them there. There's a ton of washi tapes that I love, but this past year, Note and Wish has really, really been my favorite. They just come out with these beautiful, soft designs that, I don't know, I just think they're so lovely and they're not too bright. My style's not really a super bright one. I really love other people's bright colors, but mine tend to be just a little softer and neutral. So these have just all been great. This grid especially, I have used so often. It's great for layering. And the last favorites that I'll mention are stickers. I mention this sticker book all the time because it is my favorite sticker book I've ever had. It's by the Happy Planner and it's called the Homebody. Again, it just has these beautiful soft colors and for the most part, stickers that I could see myself using. These books have, you know, a fair amount that I won't use and I just pass them on to others. But this one has gorgeous stickers and I've already used a bunch of them and could see myself using the rest. My primary sticker love though is character stickers. I just find them so charming and adorable to use to kind of mark off something that I've done or want to do. So this is the Once More with Love reusable sticker book from her site. I have heard that the one at Michael's is hard to peel your stickers off of, so just be aware of that. But the one from her site has no problems at all. It's really, really easy. You can see I don't even have to do anything really for them to come off. So in terms of shops, I mean, Once More with Love, obviously. I have a lot of the Coffee Monsters Co., Happy Daya, and this shop here is one of my newly discovered shops and I think is quickly becoming one of my favorites. These are by Paper Bits Co. Her shop is on Etsy and she's Canadian for my fellow Canadian friends. So I have loved these stickers that I got from her. And that brings us to the next question, which is what was your last purchase? So these stickers from Paper Bits Co. are the last thing that I purchased that has arrived. I've already put many of them into the sticker book I just showed you, and I had a bigger order, but I'm just showing you a few here because look at how cute they are. So last purchase that arrived, but I'm filming this after Black Friday and I did do quite a lot of purchasing there. I purchased stickers from shops that I had been waiting for and I had saved up for it, and I'm really looking forward to getting those and hopefully not getting many more stickers next year. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes, but those will be arriving, I guess, between now and the new year, hopefully. Question number 4 says, what is your biggest planner fail? And that's kind of a hard one. I don't know if I would consider any sort of specific system my biggest fail. I think for me, the biggest fail is not being realistic with myself about what I need and what I will actually use. I definitely get caught up in the fear of missing out. I just see so many beautiful options and I want to try all of them. And there's definitely a place for trial and error. I do think that's how you kind of hone in on your style and what you like and what works and what doesn't. But sometimes I've made decisions knowing it was really unlikely that it would work for me. And sure enough, it didn't. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I struggle with. I am coming closer to finding out what does work for me, what I want in my system, and trying to focus in more on that, but it's still a challenge for me. And I'm saying all this, and I am going to show you my lineup for 2021 in a future video, and there's a lot. I'm starting out this year with a lot, but I also know kind of what the core is. I think that's what it is for me. I know what my core is, and I'm willing to try these other bonus things to see if they work or they don't work. But it's just about being honest with myself and being able to let things go that aren't going to work for me in particular. And I am getting better at that slowly. In terms of specific planner fails, for 2020, I bought a Weeks and I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to use it. I originally thought I would use it as a budget and wellness tracker, and I started the year like that, but then realized I needed a bigger and more thorough budgeting system. And it kind of just fell by the wayside. And the reason I consider it a fail was because I just kind of put it away instead of trying it as a content planner, which is something I wanted to do. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I do have like a mental block with the weeks. And I think what ends up happening is I start thinking I have to use it in this super intricate way and make it incredibly functional because it's such an amazing little system. And I've seen people do such creative things with it. But I've moved past that, I think, this year and kind of ended up in a place where I'm going to try and use it as a content planner next year. But yeah, I was disappointed with myself, not the notebook. That being said, 2020 was just kind of a mess. This is where I used it as a memory keeper. 2020 was totally unexpected and unprecedented, so I hope we all are able to give ourselves grace about it. But yeah, this was just the system that I think I was the least consistent with for 2020, and I don't consider it a fail, but I do definitely want to approach it differently in 2021. And the last question asks me to define planner piece. This is a term I had never heard of until I had found the online planner community. And for me, planner piece, it's not something that's tied to a specific size or, type of system like rings or traveler's notebook or bound books. For me, planner piece is more about how I use my planners. It's about me getting something out of my systems, whether that's a feeling of productivity, of goal planning, or simply of enjoyment of sitting down with a notebook and having fun with it. I don't think I need my planner to give me something specific to be considered planner piece for me. I think I just need it to give me something, whatever I need at that moment. Even if it's awareness that I'm struggling. Sometimes I've looked back through my old planner pages and based on the things that I've written or, the empty spaces, I know that I was having a hard time, and I can gain that awareness and, kind of see what brought me out of it or, what kind of supports I used or things like that. And it's also about finding a balance. I think that it's important for me, like I just mentioned, to recognize that fear of missing out and to not be super strict with myself because that really doesn't work with me. I've tried things like having really intense no spends, and I always really admire people who do that successfully. And it's not that I can't, it's just that it can make me really miserable, which isn't my goal. And it's just about recognizing that. It's about recognizing that, okay, I'm spending more than I want to this month. Instead of having a no spend, maybe I'll let myself do, purchase $20 from, wherever. Or I've also asked if people want to swap Happy Mail or, I have a pen pal. So things like that just help me balance it out. And that's the other really important thing for me is the balance piece, because I could, it's very easy to get swept away in this community, again, with all of the great options and creative ideas and, wonderful content. So I'm realizing that I tend to ramble a little bit if I'm trying to write and talk at the same time. But for me, planner piece is ultimately having a system that I am happy to get into every day, that brings me a sense of comfort. And I used the standard this summer, and I wasn't sure what the size change would be like. It turned out it was great. I love the size, and my system just carries right over. So I don't think the actual vehicle for my planning is the biggest component. It's just planning in a way that works for me, getting some comfort from it, and having fun with it. I hope you enjoyed learning a little more about me and seeing some of my favorites. I will be posting the questions that we answered in the description below, so please do feel free to answer them in the comments as well, or if you have a channel to make your own video, I'd love to see it and let me know if that's something you do. I've smudged all over the place, but that's okay. I will love looking back at this and know that I did it during a video. I'm really looking forward to the other videos that we'll be doing as a part of this challenge, and I hope that you guys enjoy them too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.